They bout to look at the shit that I'm on, why don't we get in topic? Crew looking like Pentatonics, locked in, recording in tropics. In the East Big 3, big Bronzy B, way good, he working on optics. Talk biz while smoking exotics, we lit, never thought about it. Just live out the look at the shit that I'm on, why don't we get in topics? Sitting way back, all black, I'm talking, feeling like Shaq, I weigh my options. In the East Big 3, big Bronzy B, way good, he working on optics. Talk biz while smoking exotics, it's RCR the Presents. It's all
What is up? What is up? What is up? RCR Presents, MSD Sports, and we back at it. You already know we back at it again. Episode 21. My name is Sam, also known as YBK, and we got Mikey over here, and we got Camden over here. And let's go, episode 21. Mikey, introduce yourself. Mikey, introduce yourself.
It is episode 21, like Blackjack, 21.
Oh.
It's your boy Michael John coming to you from Boston, Massachusetts, straight out to 02135. Shout out my brothers.
Yes.
Back at it again.
Yes, sir. Camden, what's up?
What's going on? You know what it is. It's your boy, Mystical Paradise, a.k.a. Camden Lee. And I'm with the greatest trio ever assembled. You know what it is. MSD Sports, episode 21. I can't believe it. Guys, I don't know what it is about tonight. I don't know what it is about today, but I'm feeling pretty good about this episode, so I'm really excited. I think GM Sam is coming back in the building. I heard there's some rumblings of a new sport kind of coming back into season, and we got a lot of things to talk about. YBK!
Yes, sir!
Talk to me, baby.
Yes, sir! Episode 21. Oh, my goodness, Mikey, that was crazy. Blackjack, you right. And let's get it. For the agenda today, we going to talk about MLB. Tokyo series, we're going to talk about a little bit of that. Opening day coming soon. You know, it's March, guys. Baseball's back, guys. Very nice. We're going to go talk about the NBA, some injuries. Kyrie out for season. Oh, my goodness. Luka Magic. Lakers are the second best team in the West. What? NFL free agency and offseason moves. These NFL owners be cooking. So we're going to talk about a lot of these three major sports here. And we're going to start it off with MLB, everybody. We already got Dodgers and Cubs going to Tokyo, guys. They will be leaving soon, I think, right? Like, man, they got before these exhibition games they play. I mean, not exhibition, the regular season games they play exhibition matches against the MPB guys, the Japanese baseball teams. So basically, the Cubs and the Dodgers will be the two host teams that will go to Japan. And on March 15th, the Cubs will verse the Hanshin Tigers. And then the Dodgers will verse the Yomiuri Giants. And the next day, I think it's the other way, or other teams around. They're going to be versing on that. And I feel like that's a good comparison, I feel like, on see the level of like baseball Japan is compared to where we are. And then they're going to wrap it up with the regular season series on the 18th and 19th. They're going to be versing each other. And this is going to be a big match, guys. The Cubs have Shota Imanga. And the Dodgers have Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And they're going to be in Japan, in their home countries, pitching against for their squad. So I feel like it's going to be crazy. But I have a question here I want to throw. Like, this international kind of opening series, it kind of, these players are traveling across the world for this. Like, we played in Korea last year for the opening series, Dodgers, Padres. What do you guys feel on, like, the international countries and the opening up with here? Like, I want to talk about that.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I think moving forward, baseball is no longer just America's game. I think it's the world's game. And I think what a great opportunity, especially with this past offseason and with Shohei Ohtani kind of taking the league by storm this past year. I think why not have a home game in a country like Japan that, really brings out a ton of fans, a lot of, how can we say this? Just amazing, just fun. I know I love seeing some of the Japanese wives kind of playing, in terms of their little spots, you know what I mean, with their husbands and doing little fun stuff. I think the Japanese league is a lot more fun, and I'm really kind of excited to kind of see what the fandom is going to look like with these American stars. To answer your question in terms of starting the season over there, I think it's beautiful. I mean, we saw with the NFL kind of starting in Brazil this past year. It was amazing for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm hoping that, with the Dodgers starting overseas as well, I'm thinking it might be an amazing season for the Dodgers. Mikey, what are we thinking? Talk to me.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I would like as like a fan to be able to be at like the opening game if I'm like a season ticket holder or if I'm like a real diehard fan. I would like to be able to go to the home game. But obviously, I do think like in the sense of international scene, this makes a lot of sense to have these teams specifically playing each other out there. And it's fun. Let there be like some fun sprinkled into the game. It's nice the little crossover. Like when NBA when they play those, like when you play the preseason games before the season starts in Spain and they be playing out there. Now, would I have the first NBA tip off out there? Personally, I wouldn't, but I'm not hating it though.
I kind of do see on like the season ticket holder, you're paying for what? Out of the 162, you're paying 81 home games, right, in your mind, but like you're minusing one, right? If you're a home game, so that's an 80. It's like, bro, like I can't go to Japan.
Yeah, I feel like that's like the best home game too, like the opening day at the ballpark. Because
Right.
I did it once in my life when I was a
Mm,
youngin, and that was like a special day.
it is
Like
special. They do the
you
whole
don't have,
ceremony.
I'm gonna
They
get
make
you
it
out of school
legit.
early that day
Mm,
type. Like
yep.
I'll arrange it, and it was special. Like so, just my like thoughts in general. But I'm not hating though.
And I feel like I too agree on MLB opening up to international countries. Like last year, we did it in Korea. I want, I want MLB to make a kind of like initiative to like open up to countries that don't specialize in baseball. Because we already know Korea is really into baseball, and if you saw WBC, they go deep. Japan, we already know the superstars are already living. So I feel like countries, that don't have baseball as like their main sport, I feel like maybe try to go there, invest some money and build the field, just for that kind of thing. I know it's
Well,
only for like 2, 3 days, but why not?
Well, I'm wondering, you know what I mean, what maybe some African countries, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Maybe things like that, just to kind of bring a different dynamic and stuff like that, because we do have a lot of international Hispanic countries that are obviously getting, a farm system up to the league. So I mean, obviously the league kind of knows about that. But yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. I feel like just opening up a little bit more to the world, because that's kind of where we're at right now. Opening up the game to the world, I think, is going to just kind of transcend in the next 10 years. So I'm really excited about this. But I do hear you. Like I'm 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 a season ticket holder. I want to see the opening day.
Right, right.
That's a
It's a
little.
special moment, like what Mikey said.
Or like you want to watch it even, and like if you're on Pacific Standard Time, you're telling me the game is at 2 a.m. Like it's
Yeah,
just
it's played in Japan,
that's
so
my own.
yeah.
That's the only I think the cons to it, but I do think the pros are pretty balanced and kind of outweigh the cons in the sense of making the game international, making it invite. It's like you make a good point, Sam. No, they love baseball out there already. Like, when are they gonna? You think baseball could ever like attack like
Like
Australia or
London
like
was cool, but
Africa?
that was
Like,
like
you know what I mean? So
mid-season. Like when they played in
yeah,
London, like a Yankee Red Sox thing in London, like
yeah.
that was the middle. But like, why not open up there? I feel like they're not ready yet. I feel like
Yeah.
to
We
try
see
that.
other sports like NFL doing it, but it's mid-season or like a few weeks into the season.
Mm,
London, Mexico City,
right.
Germany is about to start having an NFL game. I just think it's for me, I would prefer it to be like a quarter through the season or halfway through,
Mm.
but I'm happy with it. Um,
I mean, the thing about the Dodgers is like since the 18th and the 19th, they come back and I think they play a few spring training games and then go back to regular. So it's like for them it's like a schedule. Those two teams, there's like a very like interesting schedule in that term of 2, 3 weeks compared to the other 28 teams. But
Mm.
yeah, I mean, opening day starts in March 27th officially on Thursday. And the Brewers and the Yankees open up at 3 o'clock. I think this is Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, I think.
Cool.
Or it's the other way around because it's the first game, 12
Oh,
o'clock Pacific and 3 o'clock Eastern. I think makes more sense because it was the
nice.
first game of the season. So yeah, it'll be pretty cool. I mean, MLB's coming up, guys. I can't wait, and I feel like we're gonna do a pretty good deep dive before the season starts on the divisions and like kind of like go deep dives on the teams. But yeah, I'm so excited, guys. It'll be so much fun.
Before we jump past MLB,
Yeah,
this is like a related question because I
yeah.
just got like a ping for this that the Savannah Bananas are coming back to Fenway this year. Have you guys seen the Savannah Bananas before?
Yes, yes.
I have seen snippets on Instagram or YouTube, and I believe they're one of the most must watch teams ever. I'm like
For baseball,
I
right?
It's
It's
can't even
so
like
believe
cool.
that.
It's
entertaining.
so
Yeah,
cool.
It's entertaining. I was thinking about honestly getting tickets because it's July 5th and 6th. So it's like that, like, 4th of July weekend. And it seemed a lot of fun.
that'd be kind of
They
cool.
sold out Fenway last year in July or June. So
They're
yeah,
back to
nah, it's
back.
fun.
They played in Miami, in Marlins Stadium, Marlins Park. They
Mhm.
sold out back to back days, and apparently they sold more tickets than like Marlins actual season tickets because Marlins don't get sold out. They barely get tickets, you know. So like
Yeah.
it helped like the whole venue itself. I heard because of the
Yeah.
Savannah Bananas.
How
That
do we?
sort of thing is good for baseball.
Yeah,
Like
I
that
agree.
sort of team and league is good for baseball because we need an entertainment value to it. It's why they want to speed the game up
Yeah.
and put like the pitch count and etc. pitched clock, right? Like shot clock esque.
And there's a lot of baseball influencers. Like I watch Eric Sim with like Momentum Baseball. Like the other day, he had a video with Fernando Tatis, Corbin Carroll. Like All Stars came out, and then like he did challenges. He's like, "I'm the best YouTube, hitter. Like, this is different than Major League." Like he brags about it, and like it's pretty cool. And like the community is getting bigger and bigger, and baseball just getting bigger and bigger as we speak.
I love it. 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 Oh, guys. I mean, I know we just talked about MLB. I love it when GM Sam is in the building. I'm excited for baseball season to start. Mikey, I think you definitely need to go and get some tickets, and then you could do maybe a little live MSD Sports live at the Banana Joint. You know what I'm saying? That joint be hot as hell. I think that'll be kind of cool. But we're gonna switch gears a little bit, and we're gonna talk a little bit about what's been popping recently in the NBA. Now, I love the NBA. You know what I mean? My behind, I'm 5'6". I'm not a tall man, so that, you know what I mean. When it comes to point guarding, that was my bread and butter. Mikey see me on the court, I do my thing. I like to organize my little joint, hit him in the corner for the three, cash money. But you know what I mean? One of my favorite dudes in the game had a little controversy a couple years ago, but this dude is my boy. Dallas Mavericks star Kyrie Irving suffered a torn ACL in his left knee. And the team announced that he's going to miss the rest of the season. And with Anthony Davis out, it looks like the Mavericks' chances of hitting the playoffs this year are slim to none. And he went down and attempting a layup, and he needed two free throws to kind of make those to kind of before he left the game. He clearly was hurt, clearly was hobbled. Cash both of them Jones in. Um, I think he's a magnificent player, but guys, how do we feel about this ACL? You know what I mean? At his age, at this time, he's playing a lot of minutes, trying to keep up. But guys,
Got it, man. I mean, that hurts, bro. I already started thinking about this with y'all because you know how we've been talking about the Luca trade and like now like this the second domino has fallen. Like honestly, it's like giving me initial like Babe Ruth vibes right here. Like you have the curse of the Luca, curse of the hookah right now because that's devastating. But to focus on Kyrie Irving more so, I do feel really like I felt like he was actually nose to the grindstone this year, staying out of like the any of the headlines like you kind of mentioned briefly about how he kind of was in the drama a couple years back, etc. How some people's like he's a diva. I felt like he was playing good ball this year, and I'm disappointed because an ACL at the age of 32 at the end of the season, like or three quarters through the season, that doesn't bode well for him next year. So he gonna need not next year, but the following year to kind of get back in form, like Jamal Murray type vibes. And I just feel like we might have seen the last of that Kyrie. His handles will still be nice, but let's just see, you know?
I just want to say, like, I know we're talking about Kyrie, but damn, imagine how Nico Harrison feels right now. That's all I want to say. Damn, this man is hating his life. But definitely unfortunate, like, to see the Mavericks just dissolve like that. Like, try to get a playoff trace going, but now it's just in shambles. Um, you were right about Kyrie being 32, and this is like, the season's about to end in like what, like 17, 18 games. But I'm seeing his injury history, and he didn't have a knee injury in the past like 2, 3 years, I think, or ever. I'm just scrolling down. I don't see a knee, but hopefully with the help of the sports technology and sports kind of rehab that we have, Kyrie hopefully comes back to form that we know of Uncle Drew. Like the handles that he has. But yeah, this is just torn ACL. Just no one likes that. That's like shut down for the whole year.
Yeah, he's never had the soft tissue, I don't think. He's just had the kneecap. Remember, he like fractured the kneecap in the finals and was out, or in the playoffs, so he was done. But yeah, that's
But
sad.
yeah,
I feel like it's like what do you call that? Salt in the wound,
yeah,
salt into the
yep,
wounds.
yep.
And now, what do you think? If you're AD, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's reports. Shams is saying that AD might be shut down for the year
Mhm.
because of this, the initial reports of Kyrie like tearing his ACL just to focus on health. I mean, obviously Dallas is cooked this year.
Cooked.
There's no deep playoff run anymore.
Nope.
No Kyrie, it's just not going to happen. So, would you shut I'd probably shut AD down if it was me.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, let's regroup. I mean, there's no point.
Yeah.
There's no point in
AD's
playing him.
32 too, right? 31. Like yeah. Like I feel like we'll shut him down. Like there's no point.
I mean, how do we feel as a Dallas Maverick fan, where you trade for AD, in the first 10 days he gets hurt. Kyrie's on a tear, trying to at least keep you guys alive.
Hair.
Tears- like how would you feel? You know what I mean? I'll throw to GM Sam first. GM Sam, how would you feel as a Maverick fan? Do you feel like they're coming for Nico's head? What's the deal?
Yeah, cause you broke my heart twice now. Like we had a funeral when Luca left. There was a whole funeral in front of American Airlines Center. There people were trying to burn his. They had a whole service, and then they're trying to recuperate. All right, bet like Kyrie's here, AD is here. All right, this is what we got. AD plays his first game. He drops like 26-16 in the third, and he gets shut down.
Hmm.
And now you're telling me Kai shut down? You're breaking my heart too many times. This is just an unfortunate, disappointed. Just I'm not gonna watch ball for. I don't. I'm not gonna watch for a while. Man, my Mavs are done.
Hmm.
Yeah, Mikey. What about you?
I just think, yeah, like I feel like we hit this one on the head. I feel bad. R.I.P. to Kyrie season, because he was having a good, like a real all-star season and still playing at a high level. So prayers up. Hopefully that boy can come back and do his thing. I think that they might lose that playoff spot now, though. I think Phoenix
For
might
sure.
might slide into that last spot, but we'll have to see, because they can't buy a game either. They can't buy. Book and KD go for 30 each, and they lose by 15. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
It's just hard for me, you know what I mean, just in general. I think kind of looking at what the Mavericks have done over the past calendar year. You know what I mean? You surge into the playoffs, you make it to the finals. You have an amazing off season. We haven't even talked about Clay coming to the joint. I mean, I'm not even gonna talk about that, because this man is probably crying home at night in the fetal position. You know what I mean? Clay comes in the off season, then boom, you know what I mean? You get Luca gets traded, then AD's hurt, then Kyrie's hurt, tripping. And did you guys hear about what Jeannie Buss had to say about AD recently in this NPR morning edition of an article? She, and I quote, said, Davis was complaining about where he was being played and he wasn't happy in Los Angeles. Do you feel like this is true? Like, did you feel like, you know what I mean, he was showing signs that he was unhappy? I'm so confused. I thought him and LeBron were living in paradise.
interesting for her to word it that way, right? Because it makes it seem like he's complaining is the key word, I feel like. I mean, he did, though, say, which like we all saw, he said to Shams, like, and this is in a live interview, like not like a private interview type. Like he said, we need another big, because I'm best when I play at the five. So I'm sorry, when
The
I play
four,
at the
the four.
four, not when I have to play the five. So I mean, it just seems a little bit like just leave it. It's done. I mean, if you're being asked a question, I can understand Jeannie Buss answering, but I mean, Can you fault her? All she said was like, we weren't looking to trade him, even though he wasn't happy. We weren't looking to trade him until we were offered Luka. I mean, enough said.
Yeah, I feel like thoughts change when the word Luka Doncic comes out. It's like, oh, okay, it changes things. It's like, all right, AD, okay, it's open. You need him.
He's like, you want him? I mean,
Bet-
there was only one man, and I need Sam. I need you to let the people know
Yes, sir.
about our favorite player right now.
The best player. Talking about the GOAT.
Le Triple.
Le Triple.
Triple. What
Le
happened?
Triple.
Le Triple did something the other day. I was watching my TV. I don't know what was popping.
So yesterday, them Lakers were playing the New Orleans Pelicans. LeBron just needed 1 point, but he shoots a 3. He scores 50K, guys. 50K, first player. Well, every score he scores from ever since he beat Kareem was a record, but 50K is a milestone. So yes, the king, the GOAT, LeBron James, 50,000 point mark. Everybody, this is kind of crazy. I mean, we're talking like a resume that's like 4 NBA championships, 4 NBA Final MVP, 4 League MVP, 20 All NBA selections, 6 All Defensive, Rookie of the Year, and 21 All-Star Game selections. And he adds that 50K on top of beating Kareem. Yes, everybody.
Mikey, how we feel about this? Because I got some words, but I'm just how do we feel?
I mean, one word comes to mind for me. He's getting close to the GOAT conversation. I mean, he's definitely like the Tom Brady of the NBA for sure in the sense of longevity because he's having a great year. He's better in his 22nd season than some players who are like legit Hall of Fame level players, all-stars are in their best season. So, I don't know. It's surreal. I guess I'm at the point of this is the best player of basketball I've ever seen because this is what I grew up watching. Like I was watching basketball as a youngin when he's coming out of St. Mary's. So, sheesh, all hail the king. All hail the king.
I mean, guys, I think it's interesting because we got to see Kobe. Didn't really get to see Jordan that much. He was on the twilight of his joint. Got to see guys like Tracy McGrady. We got to see guys like Paul Pierce. Got to see Kevin Garnett. We're seeing Steph. You know what I mean? We got Steve Nash. The Shaqs of the world. And I think Mike, you had an amazing point. The Tom Brady of the NBA. I mean, there's no Montanas who go 4 for 4, right? But they didn't go to 10. You feel me? It's a little different. It's a little different when you go to 10 of them Johns. And you guys know that before Le Triple came to the Lakers, I was very anti-LeBron. I thought he was hiding in the East. I thought it was something of just, inflated numbers. I felt like just his attitude. I was not a LeBron fan. Kobe all the way. Y'all already know. However, the triple might be honestly the greatest I've ever seen ever. I'm talking on YouTube highlights. I'm talking in real life. I'm talking in the playoffs. I'm talking forever. The man came in the league looking like, oh, wow, you really nice. And he's leaving the league with, oh, my gosh, you still really nice. Like, if he wins a championship this year, I'll be like, bro, he might win another one. Like, he might play another couple years, play power forward, and just kind of do it. So I have to say, for the first time ever on record, and I'm sorry, LeBron might be my GOAT. I'm sorry. I'm watching a lot of things. I'm watching a lot of situations. I'm seeing a lot of. I didn't see Kobe play like this. I didn't see Jordan play like this. I didn't see Clyde Drexler play like this. Come on.
I will give Kobe his flowers because I at least saw a lot of his career. I didn't watch Jordan live though, so
Right.
it's hard for me as like a fan to try to say. It was like when Montana people was still saying Montana when Brady had the first three, and it was like becoming a thing. And then when he got the fourth, obviously we lost those middle two. He won three of them, and then he lost his next two Super Bowl appearances. And it was like, ain't no way he can ever catch the GOAT, which was Joe Montana at the time. It's like never say never with these guys.
He
I
got
feel like.
7.
If
Yeah,
LeBron
never
wins,
say never with the LeBron
if
Jameses and
LeBron
like
wins the championship, is he like? Do you think he surpasses Jordan in year 21? Would
I
you be like,
don't I don't think so. I don't think that if he wins a ring this year, unless like he like if Luca gets injured and he carries them and wins final MVP, okay. But I will say this. I don't want to detract from the flowers he gets for being the first to reach 50K, but I don't think LeBron is the reason that they're like single-handedly playing this well, why they're on this like hot run. Because I think they've won like what, 12 out of 14, 13 out of 15
Yeah,
type.
yeah.
I don't know what the run is, but I feel like they had a really, really good February, like lost like one or two games and have just won in March so far. But I'm gonna say this, right? I'm looking at some information about the Los Angeles Lakers. On the year, the Los Angeles Lakers are like middle of the pack team for defensive rating. The number one rated team on defense this year is the Oklahoma City Thunder by multiple points. 107 is their defensive rating for the year. But if you look at the last 15 games, that like it's very obvious where wins losses translates for defensive efficiency. Cleveland Cavaliers are number one. They're 14-1 in their last 15.
Damn.
Los Angeles Lakers are number two in defensive efficiency
Wow.
over the last 15 games, and they're 13-2.
Wow.
Oklahoma City Thunder is tied second with Los Angeles Lakers in defensive efficiency over the last 15 games. They're 13-2.
Wow, that's crazy.
So it's like, it's really, I think you got to give credit for the roster construction for like the team's success in a way. Cause like I like the Jackson Hayes type style player, lanky, kind of can cover like the big guards. That's why Cleveland's so successful. When we was talking about it, like last week, I forgot to even say like DeAndre Hunter they traded for.
True.
Like lanky, tall guards who can really play defense, bro, or like a forward who's like truly tall. It's there. That's why they've been really successful because that defense has really ramped it up. But
Vanderbilt, he's been balling defensively.
yeah, exactly. But he's a big boy, bro. He like a real 6'8", 6'9". So
Yep.
shout
And
out
then
to
what's his name?
our era's GOAT though, LBJ
Well,
for 50K.
well.
Before, sorry, I don't mean to overshadow. You know what I mean?
No,
To
no, for
overshadow
real.
that, but shout out to him.
Listen, playing defense in the fourth quarter, so you know what I mean, which is crazy. I can't believe that.
Crazy.
Going in the chair, fourth quarter, crazy. Oh man, guys, another one, another man. I feel like just doesn't age. Has been on a freaking tear. 33 points a game, 8 assists a game, 4 rebounds a game, shooting 53 from field goal percentage, and shooting 51 from 3 and 92% from free throw. This 36-year-old is the greatest point guard in the league and might be the greatest point guard ever. Steph Curry. Mr. Steph. I mean, do we feel as though this Jimmy Butler thing has kind of opened up Steph's game to a whole nother level? Are we looking at Steph saying this is the last maybe run or so? Because he dropped 53 the other night, dropping 28 easy in 3 quarters, sitting in the fourth. Like, I don't, what it is, has both of them, La Triple and Mr. Curry, found the fountain of youth? Are they drinking the Kool-Aid that, we wish that we could ever drink? I'm confused.
Yes.
You go, Sam.
Yes. I totally agree. Like, going back to that Luka, Braun, Steph, Jimmy, I feel like they found like that peace state, a new person, brand new person coming into their team halfway, and it's like their whole perspective changes here now. Like it's like even Luca too. Like a leader comes in, like even Jimmy too. Like even especially for Jimmy in terms of the Warriors. Now we're talking about the Warriors. He's a well seasoned. He's been there, done that. He's been to the NBA Finals. And but for him though, he's joining the greatest shooter of all time. So like even for his mind, it's like both of like a motivation kind of thing. So I think it's so great for Steph to like even see him like going lights out. He feels confident. He feels so good, Like that game against the Hornets, he scored 53. He scored like 9 threes. Well, not 9 threes. He scored like what, 11 threes, I think?
11 threes.
Yeah,
11 threes.
it was crazy. So I feel like this is so great for the Warriors, and I feel so happy for Curry and the team because I think before the last time we talked about the Warriors, they weren't in that position standing where they are now. So this is great. This is great. I love it. I love it. And playoffs coming soon. Mikey, how do you feel about this?
I mean, it means when Jimmy has to take a night off, like he had the back spasms, like Curry can go crazy because he don't have to do that every night no more. He ain't having to do that every night no more. It is a good hot stretch for him too. I will say he kind of had I felt like I was slightly underwhelmed with him like earlier in the season, but he's 36 years old and the team is not the best. Like we knew after that first month of the season, we all knew it. We called it. This was very early. We're like they're 12-2 or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
12-3. They're first in the West. It's not sustainable. Like we knew it wasn't sustainable, but they found a new formula. And come on, I haven't watched this Olympic documentary, but I know I'm about to be amazed when I watch the in-depth, the deep dive. Steph Curry, he's got ice in his veins, bro. He's like the Night King, bro. He's got ice in his veins. So
Nasty.
The way that they talked about, I saw a couple snippets, but the way that they talked about Steph Curry, the way that Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Devin Booker, the way they revered this man, they like LeBron James was talking about Steph Curry like LeBron Le Triple wasn't Le Triple, like he was just an average rec league player, being like, yo, that man nasty, bro, that boy, that's a cold brother, and I think what it is, I think when you have someone like a dog, you know what I mean, like Jimmy, to kind of, play every single night, I think it brings out a lot for Steph. I think he feeds off of that. And I think, no shot to Clay. I think Clay is an amazing player, a lot of heart, a lot of grit. But I think over the years, especially after the injury and everything like that, I think he lost a little bit of that fight in him. And I think with Jimmy coming out of Miami, having a little bit more like, okay, like I'm frustrated. I need to get out of here. I need to go to, a new place. I think him being in Golden State was a nice refresher for Steph. And it kind of put him in another stratosphere of like, okay, like I could do this. Kind of like what Mike, you were saying, like, I don't got to shoot, go crazy every single night. You know what I'm saying? And I got Jimmy on some other nights. So we be chilling. So I'm just, what do you guys think it is? Do you think it's the technology today? Do you think it's the fact that these guys were able to play in an older kind of system into this new technology that's keeping this longevity? Because we're seeing these young stars getting hurt every single week, but these old dudes are able to play for, they're playing for the last 20 years. I mean, Mikey, what do we think it is?
it's not everyone, but they're the outliers. I'd still say like the LeBron James and the Currys are like the outliers here because I guess Kevin Durant even because they're the greatest of all time. You know what I mean? Like these are like the greats. So we gotta cherish it while they're here. You're right. Sports science has definitely improved playing time, but not for everyone. I think these are just special guys that we're talking about, and I'm appreciating it. Even though he kind of broke my heart when I felt the Celtics should have won that first chip a few years back, 2021, 2022.
That was a great series.
Yeah, I mean, I love Curry. Watching the Olympics, I watched the game that he won the Olympics
Single-handedly, yep.
Really single-handedly did. Like, I can't wait to see that scene. I've seen the Kevin Durant talking about it. You got chemistry in this. What you gonna do when you have to guard Steph? What's chemistry gonna do when you have to guard Steph? And that's facts, bro.
Damn,
so
that's a powerful statement right there.
Be the best point guard of all time.
He beats chemistry. That's crazy.
I'll say a little bit Magic Johnson, maybe.
Okay.
I see
But
that.
for me, he's the best.
He's gonna be like the
The
greatest.
best point. I mean, honestly, no lie, I'll probably say he is the best point guard all time if you ask me, but I'm not saying that there's not an argument for Magic. I just ain't seen Magic play, and both were revolutionary, I feel like,
Mm.
from when, early on in their careers. So, but shout out to my boy Bob Cousy because I started watching the new Celtics documentary on HBO. So if y'all got HBO Max, check it out. Titletown
Okay.
Celtics.
I'm gonna check it
But yeah,
out. I'm
but
gonna have to check it out.
I want to say like yeah, like with the Bron, KD, Curry, like they're the once in a lifetime generational talent kind of players. Like these three, like I've been talking about. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm talking about it now too. This is like my fourth time talking about it this week. On like I'm so blessed to be watching basketball in this generation. Like what growing up, seeing Bron, seeing Steph, seeing KD. I'm like I feel like this is for me. I feel like this is the best for me. And I feel so happy to watch these guys for sure. Because those guys definitely be missed when they leave.
For real.
Not
For
going
real.
to be the same.
And
Not gonna be.
I wanted to say to y'all, bro, I wish they never ended Game of Zones. This
Oh,
would have been
yeah.
such a good NBA season for Game of Zones,
Yeah.
y'all. I mean, Bleacher Report, we might have to at y'all on this one because I miss Game of Zones,
That
bro.
was
This
fun.
would have been such
Totally.
a good NBA season for it.
I totally agree.
Tripping.
I want to say
Tripping.
one thing. I just saw now. I'm looking at it now. Cleveland Cavaliers have officially clinched playoff berth.
Let's go.
They're the only team right now, but yeah, they clinched playoff berth. That's
Okay.
crazy with the 52-10 record right
Yeah.
now in the East.
Celtics clinch playoffs too, and Thunder clinch playoffs, but your boys will be shortly behind with that record.
100%.
The Lake Show. Yo, I know that we're wrapping up NBA and heading on over to NFL, and I need to drop this because we got some breaking news right now
Let's go.
in the NFL that just broke right now.
Right
as
now?
of-
Oh,
Yeah,
snap.
breaking right now. So y'all
What?
getting it live as we
Let's
on
see it.
So
Let's
Come
hear it.
on,
Let's
come
hear
on.
it.
we have a lot of NFL news to talk about anyway, so this perfectly segues us. But the Chargers just released Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa has been released from the Los Angeles Chargers, bro. Too much money, I guess, maybe? Maybe too
What?
much money? That's crazy. That's a big one, bro.
Oh my guys, how many defensive ends are like free agents this year going crazy or want to leave? We got what? Guys,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, MSD guys. You know what I mean? My family, I'm sorry. I'm reacting to this in real time. You had
Wow.
Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack for a number of years, and you release
Wow.
Bosa. You release Bosa?
Is it the cap hit in the contract? Maybe it's a $25 million contract. He's only 29 still. I know he's had a little bit of the injuries,
Wait,
but
he's only 29.
The Bosa brothers are like a
Nasty.
problem when yeah, exactly.
What is Harbaugh doing over there? I'm confused. Do you think he's going after Garrett?
Oh,
I
Miles?
I have no clue.
No
Garrett?
way. Eagles
Or if
need
they're
Miles
trying to
Garrett.
bolster the offense or something.
Maybe. But oh my gosh, Joey. Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a top 5 pick right there, bro. That
That's
they drafted
crazy.
9 years and that's it.
Didn't the Chargers want DK? Like trade destination, one of the suitors?
Yeah, because he wants to go to a contender, so that
Oh, like
kind
a
of
playoff.
makes sense. Yeah, I feel like that makes sense.
Damn, that's kind of wow.
Wow, bro, that's crazy, huh? Good way to start off.
Amazing way to start. Amazing.
Transition,
I
let's
love your
go.
reaction, David. I love your reaction.
I would never expect that. That's like if you were like, oh, who got released? I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? There's a lot of other players that would be on my mind before Bosa getting released for the Chargers. I mean, we're literally segueing into NFL, and I mean, one of the biggest, hottest topics is NFL free agency. I mean, you got to understand there are so many moves going on. There are so many free agents happening. And one guy that I want to start off the show with, or at least the NFL segment with, Devontae Adams was released from the Jets. Not just got released, but was released from the New York Jets this earlier. And I was looking at when he got released. I said, you know what? Literally just talking about this team, the Chargers would be an amazing place for him to go. I know, I mean, Max Crosby, which we'll talk about a little later, hinted at him coming back with a reunion with the Raiders and bringing maybe Aaron Rodgers with him because obviously Aaron Rodgers is released. But I mean, guys, I mean Devontae was supposed to get I think about 20 something million this year. I think releasing him, how do we feel about that? Is that something
Way
that
too much. Way too much.
way too much money? That's really
Yeah.
you feel like that was the biggest reason?
Yeah, did y'all see the report that Garrett Wilson and the other wide receivers on the Jets were saying they were mad that Aaron Rodgers was funneling targets to Devontae Adams?
Wow.
Yeah. I'll tell you this though, the odds opened up with Green Bay Packers as like a huge favorite to re-sign him.
Oh, come back.
Plus 165 odds is what it opened at, and it's still sitting at plus 190. But the Chargers are sitting there in second. So Sam, that maybe they gonna go. Maybe he will end up there. Maybe not DK. Maybe it will be they'll sign Devontae. You know where I would like to see him go?
Where?
I wouldn't mind him going to the Pats because now that T
Oh.
Higgins is not gonna we're not gonna be able to get him. I just wouldn't want to pay him a max like level. Like he shouldn't get the 26 million a year that like a franchise tag will get you.
No.
But I'll give him like 18 million a year, but like maybe 14 million guaranteed over like 3 years. So maybe like 3 years, 60 million, but like only like 14 million guaranteed. Like you know what I mean? Like maybe 35 million guaranteed of the money or something.
According to
Just
Sport
be-
Track, it's his market value is 13.6. They're saying.
Yeah, that's
Yo,
that
that's
sounds about-
that's pretty good. Yeah.
That's actually a pretty good guess that I gave. I'll
Yeah,
put on it
that's
right
awesome.
there.
That was right on the dot.
You know who else though I think could sign him or would be a good option is to play with Rashee Rice in Kansas City. It would be a good option because if they got some money to spend on like if you want to upgrade to wide receiver because their wide receiver game was pretty last year after Rashee Rice went down. I mean, hey, that's champions right there.
My only concern with Devontae is just in general the way that he left the Raiders just put a bad taste in my mouth just in general. So as a Pats fan, I'm like, bro, I don't need a diva in the building. I don't know if you guys were able to see the Netflix receivers series, which was great. I mean, you know what I mean? I think Devontae is an elite talent, but I think there were some moments in there that kind of rubbed me. It made me feel a certain way. I was like, So I don't know with a young quarterback like Drake May, you know what I mean, who's already kind of developing and things like that. I don't know if I want to give him somebody who's like going to demand the ball. I want someone who's more like a T Higgins, you know what I mean, sort. You know where I would love to see him? Tampa Bay. I think you know what I mean. Godwin is probably a free agent this year.
Yep.
I think that would be that. You know what I mean. Him leaving with imagine trying to cover Evans and Adams. I think with Bucky Irvin, I think it would be kind of nasty.
That would be nasty.
Yeah, they kind of old. They kind of similar builds, Evans and Adams. If you put them on opposite sides, like they'd probably be tough to run. But you need like a burner.
Yeah.
Godwin is coming off an injury too, so they ain't gonna re-sign him. I don't think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's tough.
The only
What about-
lights out free agents I see now is Stephon Diggs. In terms of
Yeah,
the
but
wide
he's
receivers.
coming off an ACL injury too, though.
Yeah, that's what
True.
I'm saying.
ACL tear. So I wouldn't. I mean, I'll take it. Let's see where the market falls
a
first.
weak wide
I might
receiver.
wait.
And what's the face, especially with Stephon, every single place that he's gone to when he's gotten injured, the quarterback has done better. When he's left after, he's always had one big season when he first gets there, and then he gets hurt, and then the quarterback does fine. So, I mean, I'm just kind of like, I think the biggest name on this list, okay, the biggest free agent I think, or not free agent, or the biggest person that I think is going to be up for grabs, DK Metcalf. Okay, DK Metcalf wants a trade. He requested a trade from the Seattle Seahawks, and Seattle is trying to work a trade through. Trade possibilities. We got the Green Bay Packers. Okay, we got the New England Patriots, and we got the Los Angeles Chargers. Guys, we just saw Deebo Samuel get traded from the San Francisco 49ers for a fifth round pick. What do you think DK is going to command for his trade? Because you know what I mean. They paying the salary and then there's a 5th-round pick. What are you offering for DK Metcalf?
Maybe a third round, maybe a
Mm.
fourth, maybe a fourth round, because you're gonna have to take his contract. That's why. And Debo had a worse season though than he did, but Debo also his whole like the best offensive options on his team, like Brandon Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey, were injured last year, so it was easy to focus on Debo. Um, DK though has been missed a couple games every season. It feels like not like he plays most games, like 13 games, but he missed a few games every season. And last year, I don't think he broke the 1,000 yard mark. I don't believe so. Jack Smith, JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba for sure took like the #1 spot there last year. So I'll take him on the Pets. We need someone. I mean, like the dude's nice, he's strong, he can make the contested catches and he can run deep. And Drake May has got an arm. He could launch. He could launch downfield. So I would be down. I think he's the top wide receiver on the market, to be honest. I would prefer him over Devontae Adams. I would prefer him over Stephon Diggs. That's who, in my opinion.
He
I
would
mean,
be a rental, so he'll be a free agent after next year. So yeah, the team that will get him will basically trade for a rental. But I feel like he will be a great impact in any team, in my opinion. Yeah, his market value is 26.1. You know, I feel like that's reasonable. So yeah, any team. I feel like for the Pats too, especially y'all could definitely be a good fit for that team.
I feel like if you're going to trade for him, you need to check if he's willing to re-sign, right? First.
Or like sign him, like get him and then sign him right away, re-sign and get an extension right away going,
Yep,
and then
yep.
boom, we'll be
I
happy.
signed him to I signed him to a 2-year extension right after.
Yep.
Guaranteed money. Pop it in. That means we locked in. We chilling.
If he wants money, he's coming to the Pats, but he said he wants to go to a contender because no one's got money like the Pats do. That is for like it's just
Y'all
we
got that
have the
much
cap
money?
space.
126
Yeah,
million.
Yeah, we have the cap space. So, but if he wants to go to like
128.
if he wants to go to a good team, he could go to like if you're looking at the odds too right now. You got the Denver Broncos and like the Green Bay Packers kind of in the mix there. The Pats are plus 600 on the odds for this sports book I'm looking at right now.
I just feel like DK and the Packers. I feel like that's a big horse with all those young boys. And how do the Broncos have any money?
I don't know what the Broncos have.
That's what I'm saying. Their cap space is like absolutely abysmal. So it's like you could. The Broncos made it to the playoffs last year. Listen, the Pats are making it to the playoffs next year. I don't know what anybody's gonna tell you. I'm just letting y'all know for real. Okay, so we get DK Metcalf. It might be ugly. We might make it to the at least to the divisional. But you know what I'm saying? We might win the division. Who knows? I don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. It's looking pretty right for my boy, guys. YBK.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to talk about your mans? You want to talk about your boy?
Talk about your boys. Let's hear.
I mean, yes. I mean,
Black Duke kid was all upset with me because he was talking about his mans. He said he was hurt about the situation.
He was hurt. I was hurt too. I mean, man, oh man, Super Bowl champions, Philadelphia Eagles are releasing their 6-time Pro Bowler, cornerback Darius Slay. Oh, well, we gonna miss you. And also was released that they're gonna be releasing James Bradbury, their cornerback. So they're just trying to get some cap right here. I feel like Darius Slay is gonna give him 4.3 million, and then Bradbury will give him 2.1. But man, for me, it's always like this, right? You win it, why not just stick with it and just keep on going? But of course, business is business, and I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles are trying to go with their youth, and then they're basically saying, we're just gonna stick with what we got, and then we can't pay y'all. We're trying to look for the new gens, and thank you for your service, right? But yeah, come on,
They're
Darius,
going young.
yeah,
They're going
basically.
young. That's it.
But Darius
right?
Slay was so beloved, you know what I'm saying? Everyone loved him. Definitely gonna be missed for sure.
They got their ring.
Yep, true.
I mean, you draft two, wide receiver. I mean, two cornerbacks. You know what I mean? These past couple years, and Deshaun. Cooper DeJean.
Yeah.
Cooper DeJean's about to take over that spot. I mean, we're gonna save about 4.3 million on the salary cap. I think I would not be surprised if we see Slay come back on a minimum, veterans minimum, just because I'll play for $3 million in Philly. I'm not gonna play for $3 million in Carolina. That ain't gonna happen. You feel me? So I'm hoping that, you know what I mean, with Slay, I think we love him in the locker room. I'd love him to have to, maybe come back on a veterans minimum. And Bradbury, man, that brother was stealing money for the last couple of years. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yeah, well, they also spent a lot of money, the Eagles.
Yes. Speaking of money,
They spent a lot of money. I mean, we have a lot. We're gonna be jumping. I feel like a
lot of
lot
money.
right here, but I feel like it's worth saying because of these releases. They're going young. Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell were bona fide starters at cornerback, so you could draft someone if you need some young talent. But they signed Saquon. He is officially the highest paid running back ever. That boy finally broke the $20 million market for them running backs. And who better deserves it? Who better deserves it than that guy? Likable, Saquon 2K, 41 million with 36 million guaranteed. $15 million in incentive. Bang.
bang. And then this goes back to that video when Eagles won the Super Bowl. Saquon and Howie, they hug. And then Saquon goes, "Thank you for believing in me." And then it was such a great moment where it's like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Giants didn't give you that contract, but, we gave you that leap of faith and we got the ring. So well-deserved, well-deserved.
Perfect fit, bro.
Yeah.
Is Howie Roseman the greatest GM right now in the NFL? Is this what we're looking at right now? I'm not talking about ever, but I'm like right now is it Howie Roseman and then the rest of the league? Because this man he signed Hurts early. Well, first he signed Devontae early on a crazy contract that we were like, which now we're like, oh my gosh, that's pennies on the dollar. He signed Hurts. He signed AJ. We just signed Saquon. I mean, is he one of the greatest GMs like in the league right now? This dude is
pretty much.
Really, I mean, like, Mikey, how do we feel?
Yeah, I mean, who else can really compete? Championships talk. So the fact that they won that one in what was that, 2019? When was that last
2017?
one?
2017?
2017?
Yeah.
There you go.
Super Bowl 52?
2017?
Yep.
And then a whole new turnover, new team, which was built through draft and free agency. So, and trades because of AJ Brown. So you have to give him credit. But also, like, championships talk, and you don't hear his name as much, but what's his name? Beach or something from Kansas City?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, championships talk, I feel like, right? So they've got 3, and now the Eagles got 2 since 2017. So
speaking of a signing, they also signed Zach Bond on a re-sign 3-year, $51 million deal with $34 million guarantee. Well deserved on that one too. Like what you said, championships talk. They got that
that's
money.
an all-pro season.
Yep.
But I hope he plays like an all-pro again, because linebacker is a fickle position sometimes, right? Like, you could be all-pro one year and then you don't even make Pro Bowl next.
Yeah, maybe he better do
But
something.
he played well, bro. He's fast because he could cover out the backfield. I've seen him darting around on coverages. Like, yeah, I've seen him. So
presence is felt.
For real.
There's a lot to highlight. You guys have any standouts? Like, I don't know, like, if you want to jump, we could try to keep this, like, look at, I know we were just talking about Eagles, but if you want to do like AFC teams, I feel like there were some big signings.
There's definitely a couple that I want to talk about. What I mean? I think your Bills signed Khalil Shakir, a 4-year extension.
Nice.
For $60 million, 32 guaranteed. I felt like it was well deserved this past year. I don't feel too strongly about that. I'm like, okay, deserves your money, and the Bills got it. However,
$8 mil per year guaranteed.
That's
good.
That's
good.
Not bad.
That's fine. I feel like he earned it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially like over the playoffs and during the regular season, he did all right. I'm a little. This is one hot topic, and I think this is where I think the segment, the NFL segment, in terms of this show, I think is really gonna hit a nice little head to this. T. Higgins received the non-exclusive franchise tag for the 2nd year. Man's gonna play for $26 million. You feel me? He's gonna get his bread. How do we feel about this? This this franchise tag. The man might be making 50 million in the last 2 years or over 50 million in the last 2 years, but I have a lot to say, to be honest. I mean, one, I feel like if you franchise tag me the first time, it's like, okay, you know what I mean? Maybe you're having some issues or whatever. The second time, I feel like you don't think I could do this. Because I'm like, you see me for 5 years. I've been in your building for 5 years going on, you know what I mean? Why you ain't going to pay me?
Well, that's a lot of money though. They're going to pay him for this contract. There is a difference too between like a regular franchise tag and the non-exclusive. The non-exclusive franchise tag means that like other teams can offer T. Higgins a contract now, and the Bengals reserve the right to match the contract that's offered. So if the Pats offer T. Higgins 4 years, 100 million, then the Bengals have the right to match it, right? Or let him go. Otherwise, he's playing for $26 million for 1 year.
Mm.
Most of the players who are franchise tagged 2 years in a row, though, if there, I seen a list of it the other day. It was like out of like 7 or 8 players, only one didn't play. Like the person that I can remember the most who ended up getting his money, albeit a quarterback position, was Dak Prescott,
Mm.
franchise tagged 2 years in a row. Then he got his bag. Um, they're trying to figure out how to re-sign all 3-star players, the Bengals, plus deal with Joe Burrow's contract because
Mm.
the GM said he's trying to make Jamar Chase the highest paid non-QB player. They want Trey Hendrickson long term, and you want T Higgins. Like, okay, so you want your cake, you want to bake your cake and eat it too. Like, let's figure this out, right? I mean, 26 mil for T. Higgins I ain't nothing to scoff at for
Not at
one
all.
year.
Not at all.
We were thinking like 30, 35. Remember?
Exactly. Exactly.
But in terms of like T Higgins wise, it's like I heard like there's a thing where after he got announced that he was franchise tagged, like why have the franchise tag? Let's get rid of the franchise tag, you know. But I don't know. Like I feel like it works on both sides though, and then the team itself can work on an extension right now, like and during the season, or it's not like he's not there for like, he's not gonna get his bag, If he works a great extension, he can get a great bag for the Bengals.
Yeah. But I feel like they've been trying to work that. It's like, David, you make a point about they franchise tagged him once, so you've already done this whole contract negotiation like dance. Um, can we look at it this way though? Let's like give the Bengals the benefit of the doubt. He's played 12 games 2 years in a row with soft tissue injuries.
Mm.
So concerned because I feel like, David, you're big on like when it's a soft tissue injury, I feel like it's a concern usually, you
100%.
know?
100%. 100%. I don't want to sign a guy with soft tissue injuries. I'm gonna be honest. You
Yeah.
you break something, cool. I mean, even your ACL, you know what I mean? I've seen some guys come back from that, but like I don't enjoy lingering issues, ankle. I don't, you know what I mean? Because I think things overcompensate. You're injured for a little bit, you overcompensate on your quads, then your lower back gets pulled, then you know what I mean, then your hamstrings, and you're pulling a groin, and then it's just a compound effect. And I think for me, I'm just kind of like I understand, like Kirk Cousins, for example, right? Got the franchise tag, got it again, got it another time, made it so that now he's the most paid quarterback in terms of guaranteed money. He's on a contract with Atlanta right now. He getting paid when he walks out of bed, regardless of if he plays it down or not. I think that's where it rewards a lot of these players. So I'm cool with that. But how often do you get a Kirk Cousins situation that, you know what I mean, that rolls its ugly head 4 times where you get a franchise tag or get a situation where you're doing that? T. Higgins, I'm kind of like, did we already reach the plateau of where T. Higgins was at? Because a lot of these wide receivers, unless you're Jamar Chase, who this past season did a triple crown situation, they ain't getting they top speed anymore. They ain't hitting, you know what I mean, the routes like they used to. So
He's 26. I will say, like, so, but
26 with soft tissue though.
on the flip side of the injuries, though, his stats last year, even though he only played 12 games, he had 10 touchdowns and he averaged 76 yards per game. So he was top 10 in both of those categories. So it's like there's some give and take in this situation here. There's a little bit of risk I feel like involved, but there is some a good amount of reward involved here. So we'll have to see. I would still offer him a contract if I'm the Pats. Listen,
Oh,
it's
100%.
Try,
non-exclusive
try.
non-exclusive franchise tag. Like offer the contract, see if the Bengals want to match it or if they want to let it go. Because it's one reason why you might drop the non-exclusive franchise tag so you can see where is the market on him and truly gauge if you want to meet that, right?
True.
Yeah. No, no, 100%. I mean, yeah, I think that's where I think it's tough. I think it's tough because he's worth it in terms of when he's available and when he's playing, he's nice. You feel me? He had that 3 touchdown game late in the season. It kind of let people know he still got it. So, um, yeah, I mean, I'm concerned though. I'm definitely concerned. It's hard to sign 3 max players.
Yeah, how do you keep up with that? That's
Keep up with that. Like,
crazy.
you know what I mean? Unfortunately, you know, they it's just tough. It's just tough.
That's tough.
We're looking at Hendricks, right? Hendrickson, who's on Cincinnati. We know he's gonna get it back. I think this situation put a lot of pressure on the Cincinnati Bengals because edge rusher Max Crosby signed a 3-year extension worth $106 million with 91.5 million guaranteed. Crosby is now the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history per year on average salary. What do you think the Bengals are gonna do now that they've seen this boy just get signed today?
That's crazy money. That's crazy, bro. He's a nightmare for sure, but you telling me he's getting 35.5 million a year average. That's more than Justin Jefferson. That's more than Nick Bosa. That's more than CeeDee Lamb. That's more than any it's Saquon, bro. That's more than any of these guys. Like, yo, you're gonna have to pay big dollars for Miles Garrett. You're gonna have to pay big dollars for Trey Hendrickson. You're gonna have to pay big dollars for Micah Parsons. You're gonna have to pay big dollars for TJ Watt. Crazy money.
I don't know about
I
that.
mean, yeah, YBK, you're the GM and resident GM of this
Oh
situation.
my
Do you
You
god.
look
think
shell
did
shocked.
your
You
in,
look
did your
shell
in,
shocked.
did your intern give this contract before he put it across
Oh
your
my
desk? Because it,
god.
it looks like an intern wrote this thing.
What are the Raiders gonna do? How are they gonna afford other players? You're paying Max Crosby yearly 30. You said what is this? 33
It's
and
106 over
91
3 years.
million guaranteed, guys. Oh my goodness, this guy's not even. This guy can't even walk on water. They get paid $106.5 million. No, no way. This I feel like the Raiders. This might bite them in the butt real
Coming off
quick.
ankle surgery, bro.
Well, that's what I'm
Oh my
confused
He's
about
coming
gosh,
off
bro.
ankle
too.
That's
surgery,
that's that's
Sam.
just
He played 12
ridiculous.
games last
Damn.
year. He played 12 games and had 8 sacks
He
or
got
seven and a
something with
half.
that Raiders GM or something. I don't know what they've been cooking up over there, but bro, what?
Tom Brady ownership. Hey,
Oh,
I will say this that he is like the best at pressuring the QB. The sack numbers don't always show the true deal because we learned that with Aaron Donald, but Aaron Donald was also rushing from the defensive tackle position a lot too, which is might be why you get rid of the ball. When you don't see him coming on the edge, it might be different. But the numbers that we see here for since 2019,
yeah.
which was his rookie season, right? Um, 324 quarterback pressures for Max Crosby. Next closest is Nick Bosa with 284. So he cleared Nick Bosa by 40, and that includes his rookie
Jeez.
season. And that also includes him missing the last 5 games of last season. So I do feel like he's making a case for himself, and he's an absolute beast, bro. I will say this: the one thing you want to know, one thing I like a lot about Max Crosby, huge UFC fan. That boy be going to all the UFC events out there, and I be
Oh,
and y'all know me. My boys Pereira's put for defending the title on Saturday, so I mean, I won't be surprised if I see Max Crosby there. I'll let y'all know. He might be spending a little bit of that 100 million.
I mean, Max
You-
Crosby's only 27, so I mean, he got that whole prime ahead of him. With
Prime.
that
I
money.
mean, the question is really like, is this a big ticket money grab for the Sphere and the Vegas people? You know what I'm saying? Is this a hey, we don't have a big name. We just know that Hunter Renfro just retired, recently today, and he announced that. So, you know what I mean, in terms of a wide receiver, and he came recently that they thought he was going to be something. So I'm wondering if, you know what I mean, with that retirement situation and, you know what I mean, having you don't have a box office name. I think this is kind of someone where you can sell tickets in the door because 106 million is crazy.
What do you guys think about Pete Carroll? Because you know how Pete Carroll likes defense, right? He's maybe Russell Wilson going to
To the
Oakland.
whom?
Oakland. I'm saying
Raiders.
Oakland.
Going to
Going
Vegas?
to, going to Las Vegas, bro.
Wilson and I mean, listen, Sierra could do a residency. You know what I mean? You have Wilson and Sierra doing it.
Wow.
That could be something. You know what I mean? That could
Oh
be
snap!
kind of cool. Doing your little 1-2 step action,
No, I can
bang
see
bang.
that. I could totally see that.
You know what I'm saying? That
Oh
would be
yeah.
that would be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, that was a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I mean, one guy we talk about a lot of money in terms of you know what I mean, someone signing. One dude. And we try not to talk about this team here because they cause heartbreak, headache, drinking problems, everything. The Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys have restructured Dak Prescott's contract, created $36 million in cap space total today, which is awesome. Converted $45 million of that base salary into a signing bonus. So it's reducing his cap figure from $89.89 million. That was his cap hit this year to $53.29 million. One, thank the Lord that the Dallas Cowboys decided to restructure this man's contract. $90 million for your cap hit. Were you smoking dope? Are you dumb, stupid, or slow? I'm just confused because it doesn't make sense to me.
That's
At all.
They just paying him crazy money, bro.
$90
They
million dollars in a cap hit. Come on.
they be structuring the contracts to purposely go back and restructure it later, which is interesting. I mean, I'm not surprised. They just gave their defensive lineman Osa Odigizua, apologies for butchering that, 4 years, 80 million with 60 million guarantee or 58
oh,
million
then he
guarantee.
got paid though.
Hello, buddy.
So that's a lot of
He
money.
got
They gonna
paid.
are they gonna be able to pay Micah Parsons though too? Do you think they're trying to open up some space for Micah? Because
Trade him.
he's gonna get a bag. And he deserves it too because he is a problem as well.
You can't afford. You can't afford him. This is the same situation we're talking about with Cincinnati. You can't afford. You already paid CD. You paid Dak. You can't afford Micah. There's no way. Otherwise, it's just going to be three guys on a revolving team, and that NFC East with the Debo signing with the Commanders. Come on, and Saquon getting an extension. You think the NFC East is getting weaker?
Nope.
Do you think it's getting weaker? Make it make sense. So
Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys are, the Dallas Cowgirls are always going to be the Dallas Cowgirls. That's just kind of how it
Freaking
works. You know what
Cowgirls.
I mean?
Yep.
and they decide that they do stupid things. I'm hoping for Steven to take over a little bit more in terms of the GM type of situation because I don't know what Jerry was smoking, but you can't operate no heavy machinery if you're smoking whatever he's smoking because I don't know what is happening. I don't know why they're doing this. It doesn't make sense to me. GM Sam, yeah, I know we're almost wrapping the episode, but I need to know what is going on. Is Jerry hiring a bunch of interns as executives over there? Like,
for me, I'm an Eagles fan, so I hate them cowgirls. So, they can sign whatever, how much they want. Give Dak 80 mil, go ahead. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But like, we're going back to the Cincinnati Bengals conversation. Like, you don't want to be banking on like that deep. Like, thank goodness he got that reconstruction. Like, I'm looking at his contract too. Like, 1 year you're paying him almost $90 million a year. And that's like, come on now. I'm just so hoping, like, as we talked about the NFC East, like, NFC East is definitely getting better. And, like, of course, the Eagles just won the Super Bowl. Commanders coming off NFC Conference Championship. And I feel like if the Giants can get a good third pick, or even trade up for number one and get their quarterback they need, they could look better than the Cowgirls. So I'm rooting for that. I want the Giants to be better than the Cowboys next year. Mikey, how do you feel?
I mean, they got to do something about it because the cap hit that his contract is projecting I mean, that's still crazy 52. Next year is projected to be $76 million cap hit. So
Jeez.
it's just a lot of money to put in, but the quarterback is the most important position essentially, right? I just think that some teams are trying to do it a certain way, and other we see that Jalen Hurts has done it a different way than these sort of guys. So I think we need to rethink about what deserves the most money. Like winning
Mm,
football deserves the most money. Like winning playoff games deserves the most money. So
definitely.
yeah, no Super Bowl appearance, and that's the money you're getting.
I
I
mean,
will say this: I like these moves as I highlighted a couple quick ones because I feel like we've hit all the big ones. I like the Bears getting offensive linemen loading up. They got Jonah Jackson from the Rams for fifth rounder,
oh,
and they sent or no for a sixth rounder.
oh,
So nice, right? And they
very nice.
also acquired Joe Tooney, uh, guard from the Chiefs for a fourth rounder.
Okay,
Oh,
So Bears are trying to give some time to Caleb to throw the ball.
like that.
On the flip side, the Chiefs got rid of Tooney, right, which is interesting, and they put the non-exclusive franchise tag on Trey Smith, their other guard.
Trey Smith.
So that's going to be 23 million though for that.
Jeez.
And they want to get a long-term deal done, but maybe they don't have a lot of cap space. I've seen them on the list of cap space teams with cap space. They are on the we do not have a lot of cap space list. So, um,
No,
what do you guys think about the Debo thing? I know that kind of was one of the first big dominoes that broke in the offseason. Fifth round pick for Debo. I feel like people think it was cheap, but I also feel like we're thinking about Debo from like 3 years ago, like the all pro Debo.
I
We're
like
like
it.
calling it cheap because
I,
he's
yeah,
it's still a big contract.
I think one of the biggest things that I see in terms of having Debo, I think coming into the Commanders, I think seeing Jaden Daniels last year, he made a lot of plays with his legs, and he had to do a lot. And I think one thing I think with Debo is he's a hand the ball, I don't have to think about it type of player, where I can run a play for Debo. I can run a screen, or I can run, you know what I mean? I can have him come out the backfield. So it's almost like I can take some pressure off Jaden Daniels because Jaden Daniels was doing everything and his mama back, you know what I mean, last year to
mm-hmm.
try to will the Commanders to doing what he was doing. So, um, yeah, I mean, I just think, yeah, I think Debo's not Debo from 4 years ago, but he still might be able to at least infuse a little bit of juice, infuse a little bit of like, okay, like here's some plays, here's some design runs, take some pressure off Jaden.
Exactly. I feel like with the addition for Debo, with Terry McLaurin, Debo being wide receiver two in that position, I feel like is great. Like, when you see other teams, like when you see a wide receiver two, sometimes you don't even know the name of a wide receiver two in a team, but Debo is a great person to slot in for that position. So I feel like this is great for the Commanders and, yeah, great for Jaden as well. I just want to
Yeah.
shout out that Jaden Daniels this year. I mean, his playoff run, his run this whole year, tying Dak Prescott with playoff victories. Big shout out to Jaden Daniels this year, rookie of the year too. Great,
Yeah.
great athlete.
I think Debo might have a decent year. I'll take him like late if he falls late in like a fantasy, so to say. I think he's
Mm,
worth like a risk in the later rounds if he falls there. I wouldn't reach for him. But you're right, he could run the ball. And Brandon Ayuk was injured. Kittle wasn't the same. CMC was out, as we kind of touched on earlier. So I think he could be. You're right. They need a real running back, though. That's what they really need.
Facts.
The last shout out I want to give is the fact that the Packers signed Brandon McManus, their kicker, to a $15 million 3-year contract.
sheesh.
Shout out to the kicker getting $15
Let's
million.
go.
Shout out to you.
Oh.
Shout out to you. $5 million signing bonus. Shout out to Brandon
go.
McManus. I don't know. Yeah, it's been a busy offseason already, huh?
So busy.
Yeah.
Football, it was like news after news. Like, it kept on coming. The football
We
offseason.
thought football was quiet. We thought the NFL
True.
we were gonna sneak over and talk NBA and then MLB, but football said, "Listen, guys, I'm still coming
No.
back, baby. I still got some juice left pimping."
But I think we should, if y'all down, I think we might have a little NBA. We really got to do. I think that we're ready for a little bracket-ish type style. We need to talk. We got March Madness coming up, so talking about brackets.
Yes.
We're gonna have to talk about our NBA thoughts here as the season winds down. Now, I think we're at that 3/4 point. So before we get to that end of the season, we're gonna have to get a little check-in. So I think I might have to see y'all in a couple of days for
I'm
that.
so down for that. That'll be so much fun.
We might have to. It's episode 21. We might have to get ready for 22, baby.
Yep. Get him tuned. Yes, sir. What an episode, guys. This was, I didn't know NFL would be this busy on off-season moves, guys. I was like, wow, this is great. But it felt like NFL season was here. Kind of, but it's great. It was great. RCR Presents MSD Sports. That was episode 21, everybody. My name is Sam, at YBK up in here. We got Mikey here, at Michael John DeStefano. We got Camden here, over here at Mr. Club Paradise. You can find us at RCR MSD Sports. We're on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, you name it, and we'll see you guys on the next pod. Peace
Peace out, yo.
Peace.